When a customer called me the first time he wanted to buy a wood miser, I asked how much he wants to cut. If he only needs to cut, let's say, 1 or 2 days a week, the smallest meal is okay. Then it depends on his budget, if it should be a small LX50, who is the cheapest one, or maybe a LT15, who have a high capacity, bigger motor, and you can support it with a power feed and debarker, set work, whatever. This will do for a lot of things, for 2 days cutting a week. If you need to cut more, you of course will depend on hydraulic. You shouldn't be afraid of buying a mill who is too small in the first place, because it's very easy to sell as a second-hand mill. There's a lot of customer for this one, and the price is good on this kind of mill. We offer a lot of contacts. We do not take this mill in and hire the price. We just give the contacts on to the next customer, and then we earn money to sell a new mill and have a good representation this way. If it's really a production, you must pick a mill with hydraulic on, because at least here in Scandinavia, the time is the most expensive thing we have. Also not to wear out on the mill. So a mill like this is an LT40, and we have a LT20 inside. It's a very good start mill for hydraulic mills, and we have full-time soil with even LT20. We even have hired people to run the mills and actually do their business. We have a lot of mill on institutions for younger people who need some things to do, and if they can cut their own logs, they can do whatever they want afterwards. This is a good key point. It's not only to cut, but it opens the entire market for whatever you want to do. I do not know how concentrated your areas is, but I think start on small mill and start maybe several customers on a mill, because I'm sure you don't need a meal every day, so why not be a community sharing a meal depending on your financial resources? This is what I would recommend. There's no reason to buy a big meal for 2 days use, but if you have a neighbor who can use it as well, maybe even you find one who runs the meal mainly, it gives a better result on the meal instead of a lot of different people. It goes with all machines. I actually started with wood miser in 1990. I saw the first wood miser on a forced technical show in Denmark. I ordered the first wood miser in Denmark, actually the first on the European continent. And we got it in February in 1991. For 8 years I was cutting for beam houses, shaped beams. I started with a carpenter actually on an open field, and we started to make these beam houses, and we managed in the end to make beam houses without any crack at all on the surface. Of course we have it in the start, but we could see on the first houses, if you have the center of the tree just partly inside this beam, there was coming a crack exactly from this point, who was the center, to the outside of the surface, who create a room for water. We make beams who was cut straight through the center, or the center was cut complete away. It was only Douglas spruce. And we turned the inside of the tree outside on the beam. Those small cracks who come when it shrinks and dries out is coming on the inside, but you never have any big cracks on the outside surface of these beam houses. It's a natural thing. If you have the center in any kind of sawn lumber, you have the center from the tree inside this one. It will crack or even twist around the length.